I just wanted to congrats you on raising $1 million on Kickstarter.
Congrats to us both. Cheers.
And you still have 20 days to go. And so, yeah, what do you think is the main difference? Because, you know, everybody has great ideas. So what's the difference in this project that you did differently than the other projects, the other campaigns, or it was the same? It's just a better product, better idea.
No, I get this question a lot actually, but let me share how it's phrased. Last time I got it, somebody asked if it's more important to spend your money and time on the marketing or the campaign, which would be the video and the page. And I thought about that for a while before I responded to him. It was via text, and I responded with the product I think is the most important. And if the product is good and it fits Kickstarter's ecosystem, then you focus on the marketing, building the audience, you know, building a community, and then you focus on the page. Now, they all need to be perfect. So you have to put in the effort, and you taught me that. But with the product, for example, the difference between this one and the other ones is I feel like with the other ones, when people would say, oh, this isn't good enough like this, like that looks cheaper, that's not like this, and it should be like this, I would argue with them. And I would say, no, you don't know, I'm the only one that has it. When you play with it, you'll see. But when you came on board, we sat down and you were like, look, you can't argue with them, that's our customer. Let's make it so that they can't ask any questions about the quality or the ability to use it, and let's implement every single one of their suggestions. And the proof is in the pudding. You go to our Kickstarter page. I mean, we probably put in 100 hours that month, back and forth with China, spending extra money to get the new samples here to fix all their issues, redoing GIFs until we showed the draft page and people just said, looks good. And the proof is in the pudding. You look at the Kickstarter page, you go to the comments, and you compare it to my other campaigns. Nobody's asking questions. Everybody's like, this looks really cool, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Versus, why is it not like this?
So if I need to summarize it, it's like the product development. This is maybe the, you know, something that we did together is the product development. And to be honest, I don't think I can take credit or you can take credit. Well, we did this together, but I feel the community was really developed the product, right? You came with an idea, and then people said, you know, I want this. This is not clear. I can't see the numbers. All this feedback. We took all this feedback and develop the product according to the community, because, you know, it's very hard for us to make decisions where, you know, as smart as we like to think we are, we don't know everything, but the community does. So I think that was one of the main differences.
And then I think there's another fallacy that happens where a lot of people assume that Kickstarter is the place where the development and the community building happens, and that's just not true at all. That's the difference between like a $30,000-$40,000 campaign and these campaigns that cross the $1 million threshold, is that community building and that product dev needs to happen way before Kickstarter, and then Kickstarter is just for the fun stuff. Save the product dev on Kickstarter for the fun stuff, like, you know, what stretch goal do you want to see, or what fun new design do you want us to look at in the future, not how can we fix this major issue, because at the end of the day, it's a selling platform.
Yeah, I think that maybe it was true 5-6 years ago, but even then, to get the new samples could take a month or two, which means that people would, you know, like, it means that people were on Kickstarter, and when you launch the Kickstarter, you only have like 30 or 60, in our case, 30 days. So that's not even enough to make new samples, show people, get their feedback. And yeah, I agree. Like, of course, there's a feedback loop, but you need to launch the campaign when you're ready. And what do you think? Why but besides that, one last question about why you think, and I'm also curious about, I have some reason why it happened, but I feel that the first day or two, the campaign exploded, like, almost $500,000 or $500,000 in the first 48 hours. I don't remember the exact amount. We can extract that through Kicktrack. So why do you think that exploded? Of course, marketing and so on, it's like, yeah, almost $500,000 in the first 48 hours. So why do you think that exploded?
Let's actually talk about why. I think that we hyped it up really well, right? We got people excited, and I think that's what the good product dev can do. Because you start to build this community of early adopters that can see the vision, but then there's lots of people that are excited because other people are excited, but maybe can't catch the vision. But if you can make a change that they suggest, that the community suggests, and then show that before, you've now converted them to be excited with everybody else, and they feel like they're part of the process. And so between TikTok, the Facebook group, and the email group that we had, we were running surveys. I mean, we did 5 surveys before we even launched, and got 10,000 responses. We built the email list to 20,000, and it was only with each iteration showing, hey, we made your suggested changes. What else do you want to see? And so come launch day, nobody had questions about the product. I mean, that early community, they all felt this sense of, and rightfully so, that they were a part of the process, right? I had so many people that were showing their friends because they were like, look, I helped build this.
Exactly.
You need to see this.
Exactly. Yeah. They felt that they, and rightfully so, they were part of the product development, right? They felt that they have some kind, even if it's a small contribution, a lot of thousands of people felt like, hey, this is my product in one way or another. So I think you're right. Like they all.
I also talked to somebody who had a Facebook group for a podcast that he was doing, and it's 1,800 members, and he's working on this new board game, and he hasn't showed them, and the art for the game is done. And I was like, dude, you gotta involve your community. And he's like, I don't want to use it just for self-promotion. And I'm like, people love that. And I showed him our Facebook group where it's literally just self-promotion, but it's not self-promotion. It's a win-win, because we get self-promotion, but we also engage them. And he was like, huh. And then I was like, if you don't want to inundate that community with self-promotion, start a new one. But you need to, you're such a likable person. You need to become that guy that's like not shoving it down their throats, but like, look, help me do this, asking for help. Help me do this.
Yeah, I think there's a thin line between selling versus feedback. And I think what we did is we didn't try to sell, hey, go buy this, we need you to buy this, and so on. We were always asking for feedback. But that's I believe that's a higher hierarchy of treating your prospects, like asking them the feedback, and then when they're happy, they would go and buy it, because they ask for so many things, and we did that, so they're like, okay, I want this right now.
And I think that's the lesson that I learned on this campaign. Is, I'm gonna be honest with you, these other campaigns that we didn't do as well, and I kind of faked it. I faked the feedback. I faked the engagement. I already had a plan, and I would push them kind of like Inception towards my plan.
Okay.
And you can't fake it, because when you don't fake it, it does $500,000 in 48 hours. And so this was the time where, like, even when I wanted to sell or stick to my idea, you were finally on my shoulder, devil and angel, saying, listen, be more humble, or listen, you're wrong. We need to trust them.
No one knows. This is the truth. No one knows. No one can predict the market. So that's the beauty of things. And when you get, how many emails did you get in the past 2 months? like personal email, people replying to your emails or writing you an email, with a question or giving you feedback.
Yeah, and yeah, at the end of all of our mass emails, I would leave a response at your suggestion that just said, respond here and I'll respond. And I did, and it was maybe in the high hundreds, 500 or 600.
Wow.
And I would respond to them every morning. It was maybe 10 or 20 a morning, and it was mostly people. It was easy because it was mostly people like, hey, this is really cool. Thanks for including me. But I think that does two things as well. It doesn't fake it. And at the same time, it's always a win-win when you engage your community properly, because that just warmed up our Klaviyo, right? It warmed up our email. It proved that it wasn't spam. So we got higher deliver rates.
Yeah, that's a small technical thing, but yeah, I think that it's I think that's another, we can talk about it for hours, but I think it's like a lot of companies, when they look at Klaviyo or email marketing, they see that as a one-way channel. Like you broadcast a message to your email subscribers, but they're not necessarily want to hear back. And I think what we did, that we really wanted to get their feedback. Hey, go to the group, not necessarily through email, reply to this email. We need your help here. Go to the survey, post a comment. We shared the Kickstarter page. We wanted feedback about that. So it was like, it was a relationship. Yeah, that's the right word that I'm looking for. Not just, not just sending mass emails and buy this, buy this, buy this. It was a relationship.
And it definitely ended up being more fun and just a better product, more money raised on Kickstarter. And then I was just at FanX in Salt Lake, and I had like 50 people come up that know us that were like, I told people on the Facebook group that I was going to have the coins, but they had to say a secret password, and they would come up and say, hey, do you have the coins? And I would take them, them in the back and show them.
Wow, so secret password and you get a coin. That could have been, or or you need to come to my booth and shout like a secret password, and shout it as
the next one when we'll get an extra 1,000 coins that we can give out at all the trade shows.
Okay.